And I want to say this cautiously before I'm misquoted. We have agreed to another consumption expenditure that will become a permanent fixture in our budget, and that is free SHS. Have we as a country looked at how a full-blown free SHS will look like? So in the end, we are suddenly going to be saying, now because of free SHS, we are spending 10 billion of the tax revenue. Just like we are now saying because of wages, it will become a similar issue to that of how wages and salaries pan out. But we are not having a conversation around having a proper focus on medium to long-term expenditure plans. In order that we are looking at how do we meet those expenditures going forward without necessarily compounding the debt burden. We are not having those conversations. And we are looking for the easy ways out. And I believe that until politicians have the incentive to think long-term and act long-term, we will begin to continue to compound the problem. I can assure you that if you say we are generating only about 20% of tax revenue from GDP. Okay. How much can you tax from the oil sector? We know we are constrained because we've signed certain agreements and those revenues are not even available in the calculation of your tax base. So you can't even tax those revenues. Meanwhile, you are calculating 20%, including what you cannot tax. If you go to the mining sector, we know that no matter how much we export from gold, the capacity to tax from that sector is already constrained because of the nature of agreements that we have signed. It is embedded in there. When you take all those things out, you would come to realize that, in fact, your tax to GDP, and here I'm talking about taxable GDP, is likely to be very high already. But because it is crowded by some of these growth that we have generated that is outside of the bucket, we are seeing a bigger GDP. And again, bringing that same bigger GDP that is not even available for you to tax, let alone to use it to pay your debt, you are saying your debt to GDP is low. Meanwhile, a lot of that money is not available for you to tax because the essence of debt to GDP is that you have such a revenue base that you can actually tax to pay the debt. But of course, if that money is not available to be taxed and you use it to calculate your debt to GDP, you are basically masking the true picture of the problem.
Okay.